Hi guys, welcome back. So Australia 7, New Zealand 38. On the scoreboard it looks like New Zealand absolutely smashed Australia, but the irony is this was the most promising Australian performance of the championship. But let's get into it. I'll go through the game and pick out some bits I think are interesting and pick out some themes. And then straight from the off, early good signs for Australia. Holloway was really smashing it up, some beefy carries and some beefing hits in defence, and that kept going all game really. But then another theme, ropey kicks, Karevi, then Gordon, wasting really good ball. Some of the kicking in open play was pretty atrocious, to be honest. Mo'unga showing how it's done, putting up really good contestable kicks, forcing Australia to clear from a 5-metre line out. And then I don't know what Australia are doing, but Scott Barrett absolutely ends McDermott, the ball's jarred loose, and an easy try for Frizzell, 0-5. And I don't know what Australia were trying here. I mean, they're going off the top from 5 metres out and they're not holding the defence. They're not blocking the defence in the line out. They're not going down and then popping off or driving a little bit. Really dangerous stuff. Just gave New Zealand the try there, but great hit from Scott Barrett. I think the New Zealand supporters enjoyed that one. But to be fair, Australia straight back to the fore. Bell's playing well, Slipper's replacement, shrugging off tacklers all over the place. I think Surveyor was one there. Now Wonga-Twasey beats more men, shrugging off Retallick, Smith, Ioane. It's good stuff. Handing off Poden Barrett like he's just a nuisance. I mean, the All Blacks had numbers in defence, but just poor one-on-one tackling. Pataya again, slipping more tackles. They work it to Corambetti, but does he ground it? No, his arm's just in first. But when the TMO checks, they actually spot the Valentini actually grounded it earlier in the phases. So try to Australia, well-deserved, 7-5. Really promising stuff. A breathless start for sure. And then we see a go-to All Blacks tactic for this game where they go back to the blind all the time. And another go-to tactic is a long throw over the top in the line out, getting Geordie Barrett going, Will Jordan trailing. You know, teams are going to have to watch this in the World Cup, causing all sorts of problems. And again, Australia overcomplicating the exit strategy. Poor kick and give New Zealand good ball. So yeah, Australia are looking fairly good and joined up in attack, but those kicks and those decisions are putting them under the pump. And New Zealand are really playing that go back to the blind way where they overload the blind side, very tight channels, had mixed success. I'm not sure about it, but certainly they're trusting their close passing. Quarter of an hour in, Australia's attacking phases look the best they have all tournament, with Carter Gordon really running onto the ball at pace, and they earn themselves a good penalty, but a horrible hook kick at goal from Gordon. I mean, kicking was atrocious today from Australia at times. Another horror show kick, a contestable kick from Gordon, and All Blacks are winning this kicking battle. It is a massive difference at the moment. Then the game calms down. It's a big kicking battle territory competition until Karevi with a really clumsy body check. A couple of clumsy things from Australia in this match, putting New Zealand straight back in good positions. But, you know, Australia's attacking phases are probably better, you'd say, or more fluent than New Zealand ones. There's more flow. They're going onto the ball really well. They're just not converting. Pataya Kellaway with a good break. They're just not getting those tries, really. On 22 minutes, a really strange phase of play. The All Blacks mining that short side. Smith with the soft passes. It's working, definitely. They win a 5-metre line-out penalty. Simple front ball stuff. They get another penalty. And Australia just seem to be absolutely sleeping. It's a really bad offside from Corambetti, a bit of a schoolboy offside that earns him a yellow card. But the Australian big men are sleeping, and it looks like Talaya's just tapped it and darted over. But actually, he does fumble it as he taps it. So that's a real let-off there, but it is a yellow card for Karevi. Australia down a man, but actually still playing pretty well until another mistake, this time from Bell, who has the ball stripped off him. Geordie Barrett is the go-to man again, who makes the big thrust, and the All Blacks continue with the short side tactic, mining it, getting in a good position, and they execute, whereas Australia haven't been. So 7-12, they take the lead. Fantastic conversion from Mo'unga. So that's how you execute a position. And goodness me, Carter Gordon, absolute disaster with the kicking, can't even get the restart drop kick right. And it's just an irony because in so many ways Australia are actually looking pretty good. And They can't even get to half time because there's another try to New Zealand. New Zealand taking advantage of the possession they're kind of been given. Clean execution. Talea makes the initial burst. Loads of phases. And Jordan finally with a nice step on Pattaya to score 7-19. A killer blow before half time when Australia will say, actually, a lot of the stuff is pretty good. We're just kind of killing ourselves. After half time, Australia's still looking good. Turnovers from Skelton, running with ball in hand, looking good. It looks like they've got to score. But Scott Barrett with another great tackle to save the day. More Wallabies pressure. Surveyor saves the day. Now Okonotuese again playing great. A third golden chance for Australia. But New Zealand win the penalty and clear once again. Now New Zealand scrummaging really coming on strong now. Alatoa had been injured. Tupu's on and he looks injured. Bell comes back on and gets an immediate yellow. So just a nightmare for the props. Just going from bad to worse. It's definitely one of those days for Australia. But once again, it's powerful and patient from New Zealand on about 58 minutes. Strong line-out drive, sets up Clark, who powers over, hammers the nail in the Wallabies' coffin, 7:26. Roygaard is on, getting his debut, and Smith was the absolute general today. On 65 minutes, New Zealand just so clinical. Again, really patient stuff, building up the phases. Jordan frees his arms, lovely offload to Slayer for a try, 7:31. And then finally New Zealand cut loose, Australia a shot, 14-man defence, and it's a fantastic passing try, classic New Zealand for Ioane, 7:38, that is the game, and it looks like New Zealand have hammered Australia, but in many ways Australia hammered themselves. If they'd scored early on, they could have got into this game and it could have been an absolute stormer. In the end, a dominant win on the scoreboard for New Zealand. They take the Rugby Championship. Definitely some positives for Australia, but also some real worries in them killing themselves there with penalties, with kicking and injuries now. Let me know what you think of the game. Comments below, and I'll catch you next time.